Coming up in today's programme, Leicester school children travel back in time to take a lesson from the Victorians, learn about inflation and get their hands dirty as apprentices. To many people, the word museum conjures up images of regimented rows of glass cabinets containing crusty old exhibits. In reality, that image is often as much a part of history as the artefacts the museums contain. The Ironbridge Gorge in Shropshire is a rich place for innovative museums. In 18th century Britain, Ironbridge was at the centre of the Industrial Revolution, and the great Iron Bridge itself was a bold symbol of the age. Now, the area has been designated a World Heritage Site, and there are no fewer than 10 separate attractions within the space of 6 square miles, offering workshops and hands-on activities. But today's trip is to Bliss Hill, one of the largest open-air museums in Britain.
What we've done is created a small industrial village, small town, aimed at about the end of the 19th century. And it's got all those things you'd expect from a small town. The foundry, as we've got here, and a bank, and we've got a pub, of course, that you'd need. Further down the road, we have a candle factory. Candle's very important, of course, in the mining industry. Opposite that, a sawmill, very important for making wheelbarrows and industrial equipment you need for your jobs. All the sorts of services you expect to keep a small economy busy.
Year 5 from Knighton Fields Primary School with their teacher Claire James are visiting Bliss Hill Victorian Town in the Ironbridge Gorge.
We chose to go to Ironbridge because we've been doing a topic over the past term on Victorians, and we've been doing sort of lots of research and looking at different aspects of Victorian life, and we wanted to go somewhere where they could have a practical hands-on experience and sort of see for themselves how life was in Victorian times.
Which one's this one? Have a look up. No, have a look up, see what it says. Can you read it, Corey? The chemist, well done. And you can give the lady in the chemist a wave, look, say hello. Wow.
The mum's making some.
Yeah. So they didn't have mass-produced machines. Come and have a look over here, guys.
It was just a really good chance for them to practically see what life would have been like and to talk about and compare it to what life for them is like now and how things are completely different. And they came out with lots of comments, really, about how, wow, I can't believe they had that and I can't believe it was like that.
Well, this is Lloyd's Bank, and banks deal with money, and so do we. These are the 4 coins that we use here in our Victorian town, and the basic coin is the penny. Around Britannia it says 1 penny. This is the halfpenny, which is half the penny. You can see it's half its size. And
Brian Foster used to work in a real-life bank. Now he plays the role of Mr. Deavy, manager of the Victorian Bank.
Now, if you want to spend our token money in our Victorian town, we need an exchange rate to take you back 105 years. So for every £1, 100 pennies you give me, I'm going to give you 2.5 Victorian pennies. Tuppence halfpenny. That's a good deal, isn't it?
The children had a chance to go into the shops and talk to the shopkeepers and find out about what they did. And they pitched it brilliantly for the children in terms of what the stories that they told them and the ways that they went about life. Wow, is that exciting? Okay. Say good morning. When you go in, say good morning.
Are you allowed to have fruit?
Christine White runs the sweet shop, which is full of Victorian delights.
The selection that we've got from the real warm, we've got the humbugs, and we've got throat drops, things for the throat. But we've also got the nice sweetie sweets, which are strawberries and cream, fizzy fish, rhubarb and custard, blackberry and apple. So we have a wide selection. But one of the most popular is the very sweet, sugary sweet, which is the sugar K-line.
The sweet shop is a fun place, but it does have a serious educational purpose.
We explain to children that today they can go in a sweet shop and with their money they can just buy what they want. In Victorian times, they didn't have that luxury. So if they did have their penny or penny halfpenny, to go to the sweet shop and buy that one treat, which would have to last them for the week, was a real luxury. So it does help the children understand the value of money and the lifestyle that especially the working class had.
Next stop is the printers.
Now, the man who built these machines and designed them way back in 1858 was a man called Henry Smith Cropper. Did anybody spot here what could go wrong?
Trap your fingers.
Trap your fingers, yes.
Get your hair caught.
Now, lots of people, when they were getting tired at the end of the day, were having difficulty keeping up with the machine, and they didn't get their hand out and it used to sever their fingers off.
Trying hard not to come a cropper is Martin Musgrove, who, as John Edmonds, town printer, has the difficult task of working with authentic machinery.
We're just going to tighten these coins up now. In fact, that's how we coin a phrase. This is a treadle-operated machine. The rollers now pick up the ink off the disc, put the ink on the type, and this piece of paper gets pressed against the inked type. We can go a little bit quicker now, and at this sort of speed we would print about 600 prints an hour.
What's your name, miss? Tamsin. OK.
Having seen the printer at work, Claire's class gets the chance to become apprentices and have a go themselves.
The printing was actually one of the really, really good examples of where the children sort of went, wow, how that compares to today, because we're incredibly ICT minded and they're constantly working on computers and printing things out just at will, really. So it was really good for them to see that actually in Victorian times they had those individual printing blocks and the length of time and the care that had to go into producing a document that they would only, you know, do in 5 minutes.
There you go, Tamsin.
The strength of the Bliss Hill visit is it is an immersive experience. We have demonstrators in costume who will talk to small groups and explain what they're doing and interpret what's going on in that particular exhibit, for example, the candle factory, or you'll see pills being made in the chemist shop. But we can also add value as well. So, for example, we have a Victorian school where a group dresses up as Victorian children. You're turning yourself into a Victorian as you walk down to the school, so that when you're in the school, you're prepared mentally for a different era, if you like, a different learning environment.
Stand still, back straight. Our hymn today is All Things Bright and Beautiful. All things bright.
To a 21st century class from Leicester, life in Victorian Bliss Hill, where everything is governed by the church and the state, seems quite alien. Christine Simmons goes to great lengths to make the lesson historically authentic.
In the Victorian school, children who were absent would be noted, and any children who came late would be in very serious trouble and would probably be caned. Now it is time for our hand and shoe inspection. Please hold out your hands. Remember, children, cleanliness is next to godliness. Discipline was very strict. Sit up straight. We do not want children looking like question marks in this school. And that was all in preparation for when they went to work, because obviously the discipline at work would be probably much stricter than it was in school. 5 pennies add 9 pennies. How many does that come to? Yes, stand up, please.
14.
14 pennies, well done.
I think it was incredibly real for them, and they sort of found it a little bit uncomfortable to start. But what was really nice was where I was sitting in the schoolroom and watching them, was that you could see them really taking on that role. It was really nice to see them sort of going, you know, enjoying that experience.
When they're doing the Victorian workshop, the children really enter into the spirit of it, and they really become the Victorian class. You say, "Thank you, Ma'am," and do a nice curtsy, please.
So I came in as a visitor and had to hand out some certificates, so they obviously saw me taking on a different role as well.
The lesson this morning is to order myself lowly and reverently before my betters. What you learn here applies to your working life.
Mrs. Simmons' lesson brings home to our children just how much society has changed.
And your lot in life, children, is to become good, honest, hard-working, working-class citizens. Remember that you are born working class and you should not aspire to be anything else. The teaching was very teacher-intensive. The children were very passive. They just sat there and listened and answered questions when they were asked and so on. Close your books, please.
Back in Leicester, Claire reflects on modern-day teaching.
It's incredibly different from how it was then. We do lots more talk and lots more discussion. We do lots more practical activities, and we do much more open-ended activities now.
She's using the latest technology to enable the children to get the most from their Victorian day out.
We took our own video footage and lots of photos, so they're going to do some presentations so they can share their experiences with other members of the school or with their parents, and we're hopefully going to aim to do a class assembly on that. And we've been creating displays for them to share their experience as well, so they're all having a role in building something or creating something for that display. And they've also been continuing their work on Victorian life as well through other crafty activities such as making quilts and rag rugs and things like that.
We've been making a collage of what our chemists looked like in the Victorian times. That's a book, so maybe if you didn't have the money, they might be able to put it down in the book. That's some tablets, and there's some jars of medicines.
The term's work has revolved around the Victorians, and I think Ironbridge has culminated the topic really. It's given them a chance to take everything that they've learned, experience it, and then from that we're kind of now gathering it all together and reflecting. Going to a place such as Ironbridge is absolutely fantastic as a learning tool for children. For them to learn through first-hand experience is the best possible means for them to be able to sort of understand or grasp any of the elements of whatever topic you're covering. If we went back to Ironbridge, the one thing that we'd definitely do is just ensure we had more time there so that we could really experience everything to its fullest. Then being able to go and do means much more to them than being told or, than them reading about it.
Off you go.
For my learning as well, it was really, really good. And it was really good to talk to such knowledgeable people about it. I think that's always really handy when you're doing a topic, to have people who are so knowledgeable about it to explain things as well. I know that all of the staff thoroughly enjoyed it. We all got into it and enjoyed the day, especially I think the dressing up as well. So the fact that we were all involved in it together was really good.
You can find further information on this and other similar school trips by looking under the Resources and Support Materials section on our website, www.teachers.tv/worth-the-trip. To many people, the word museum conjures up images of regimented rows of glass cabinets containing crusty old exhibits. In reality, that image is often as much a part of history as the artefacts the museums contain. The Iron Bridge Gorge in Shropshire is a rich place for innovative museums. In 18th century Britain, Iron Bridge was at the centre of the Industrial Revolution, and the great Iron Bridge itself was a bold symbol of the age. Now the area has been designated a World Heritage Site, and there are no fewer than 10 separate attractions within the space of 6 square miles, offering workshops and hands-on activities. But today's trip is to Bliss Hill, one of the largest open-air museums in Britain.
What we've done is created a small industrial village, small town, aimed at about the...
We chose to go to Iron Bridge because we've been doing a topic over the past term on Victorians, and we've been doing sort of lots of research and looking at different aspects of Victorian life, and we wanted to go somewhere where they could have a practical hands-on experience and sort of see for themselves how life was in Victorian times.
Were absent would be noted, and any children who came late would be...
You can find further information on this and other similar school trips by looking under the Resources and Support Materials section on our website, www.teachers.tv/worth the trip.